Hi everybody, welcome back to Pax Unplugged 2025. We're doing our first interview of the entire show. We're with Jordan Dube of Goosepoop Games. Why don't you tell them where they can find you and your product and all the cool stuff you're making?
For sure, yeah. Jordan, Goosepoop Games, goosepoopgames.com, all online and stuff. You can find it everywhere. Goosepoop207 on all the socials.
Nice.
Yeah, that's where you can find me.
What do you think, what is your mission as a game publisher, producer, designer?
Yeah, so my mission with Goosepoop Games is to make accessible games for people and also wildly absurd games.
Which has been achieved.
Yeah.
I'll say, if you haven't seen any of the games, you want to show them a few of them?
Yeah, so I got some silly ones here. We got Food and Evil. This is the ash can version. It's coming out in February. You play as demons running a food truck. Yeah, it's really silly, super lightweight. So going on the accessibility part, you just have to hand your players the character sheets and just start playing. There's no rules teach. You're just like, what do you want to do? It's really great. This one, it's called Black Flies. It just got funded. It's in production right now as we speak. You can get pre-orders in. But yeah, you play as, this one's a little bit different than some of my other ones. A little more spooky.
I have special questions for that.
Yeah. A little more spooky. They also, I won't give anything away. There's really good art, and I won't show it.
There is beautiful art.
But yeah, it flips upwards because I'm just that crazy about.
So when you got into this, did you consider yourself a world builder or a systems designer?
Oh, that's a good question. I definitely, when I was making stuff, I never thought, I'm making a world. I was really thinking I guess more systems, but more just thinking of experiences. So when I think about games, I think okay, I want maybe this theme, and then my brain suddenly switches over to the product design. It's okay, how does that feel on the table? What does it look like when people are playing the game? And that.
Do you have a dedicated group of playtesters that are always ready to try the insanity of whatever the next thing is?
There's a little bit, yeah. There's some of them are they do live streams, so my friends from Roll D5, they're always game to be hey, I'm in this new game, and they're all right, let's play it.
Right. That's cool. Do you play with them too online?
I usually like watching. I do some streams. I'm starting to do my own stream where I chat with designers and then we play their game and stuff afterwards. So yeah.
Cool. That's a cool way to kind of build community, I guess, around all the indie creators that are around out there.
Yeah, for sure. I really enjoy supporting other people and helping each other out.
Here's the most important question you get probably all day. So why goose poop instead of some other foul fecal matter?
Okay. Yeah, so I was living in Portland, Maine, right across the street from a pond, and of course there was a lot of geese there. At the time, I just started making stickers. So I was making stickers for local organizations and stuff, doing my own little art. And I was walking home and just thinking about, what should I name myself? Do I even need to bother with a name? And then my brain was there's a lot of goose poop around. I was trying to step all over it and stuff. And then I thought, how crazy would it be if I named myself Goose Poop? And then I was thinking, my art's kind of poopy. There's no sharp edges on my art, so it's all smooth lines and stuff. So that's kind of a gross picture, but that's how
you found a way to make it fit.
Yeah, that's how I Goose Poop, and I don't know, it brings joy to people when they see it, and I love it.
What's when you got started, what was your publishing process? Because you very proudly proclaim that everything is handmade or self-published.
Yeah, so when I first started, I didn't do any crowdfunding. I was just I need stuff out for people to think I'm legit. So just I think it was the beginning of last year. Yeah, it was the beginning of last year. I just cranked out like 2 card games and 2 role-playing games. And I rented community office space, and I just used their printer and just folded and taped up my games and hand stapled them.
So you used your WeWork account to get access to printing equipment.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, so I did some printing. But I mean, like with the cards, I also did because you can't just print nice cards off an office printer. So I went to the game crafters where I just did low quantity card packs.
And do you find, this is a 2-part question.
Sure.
When you are creating a card game or a board game versus a role-playing game, do you find that it's more, I don't want to say enjoyable to create a card game or TTRPG, and do you find one to be more profitable because you're obviously paying more to do cards?
Yeah. That is interesting. I think I love both so much, where, I mean, they have their different things, you know, so like with the card games, they're more structured, so I don't have to worry about like world building or anything. It's like I just have a nice theme, and then we just make a system based on the theme, that kind of thing. But then with the TTRPGs, I'm like, I could go crazy with this. This is a weird story. We're just gonna make weird stories happen. So they both have the same amount in my brain of enjoyment. I have a little bit more TTRPGs because they're just like easier to crank out faster for me. What was the second part of the question
Which
again?
is more profitable for you?
Currently the TTRPGs, Good Soup is my most selling game. Play as woodland creatures, gather ingredients to make soup.
Nice.
Yeah, so
obviously you've played a lot in the cozy space.
right, yeah.
And then you made Black Flies. I would call that not cozy.
It's not cozy. I secretly, as whimsical as I am, I do really enjoy horror movies. It's kind of what I call my self-care. Just go to a late night horror movie and some popcorn. So I always wanted to make like a little spooky game. And what's interesting is that it's still hilarious. Like I make it look really serious and dark, and when it's GMless, so it's like, yeah, we're just gonna make the wildest stuff happen, and it's gonna be silly.
Do you a lot of your games are GMless, right?
Yeah, there's a good amount.
So do you have a preference for GMless games over GM games, or do you just feel they're just different things altogether?
I think it's just the amount. It's just based on how much work you're putting on the players versus do you really just need a GM to handle like things moving and shaking, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, so like Black Flies, when I was developing it, it did start as like a GM game where the GM would like kind of set the scene and narrative, but a lot of the agency was on the players to like build the story. And when I was playtesting it, a friend was like, this should just be a GMless game. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. So,
cool.
GMless.
See, those playtesters are awesome.
Yeah.
They help you so much.
Yeah.
Never forget them.
Always playtest your games.
Do you, when you're building your products, do you always build your own engines, or do you use licensed engines too sometimes?
All my engines are the ones are my own and stuff. So for the TTRPGs, they're all stuff that I've created. They're not really based on, I mean, some of them, like I pull some mechanics from different TTRPGs, but it's not just like I am only using this exact system.
Right. Nice. Let's talk about Black Fly now. So
Yeah.
in Black Fly, you play the villain.
Yes.
Not the people who are going to be your victims, which is the typical version of horror.
Right,
shows.
yeah. Yeah, when I was thinking about it, I was just kind of messing around with the idea of like, okay, what if because usually when you do a GM'd horror game, the GM is kind of the person making it scary.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, what if everybody was making it scary? How would that feel? And so that's just my experiment.
So does it feel good to be the bad guy, do you think?
Yeah, it feels pretty good. But it's like everybody has like this kind of like supernatural power, but also everybody's kind of flawed and stuff. And then there's something called the maligned, where people just turn into like mutant flies and you just have no control over that and stuff.
And it's built around cults.
Yeah.
Can you explain the cult connection? How it works in it?
How it works? I think I wanted it to be a cult just so everybody felt like they were a part of a group, but they're actually working against each other, kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not only is it GMless, everybody is their own GM.
Right.
Playing it in a group setting, though.
Right.
So everybody's potentially their own GM, and everyone else is their player victim.
Right. And so I handle that by I have an interesting dice pool system where the dice, when you roll some dice, the dice don't determine if you pass or fail. It determines who has narrative control over the scene.
Oh, wow.
So, like, in other games, you want a lot of dice because, like, I want a higher chance. In this game, you want less dice because, like, I want less people to touch my story to mess me up.
So your battle is to keep control as much as you can, so you can make more victims of them.
Right, yeah.
Nice. That's a cool game.
Yeah.
That's a cool idea. Was that, when you were building it, was that what you wanted to build from the start, or that's just where it ended up as you were developing it?
That's kind of where I wanted it from the start. I was already thinking of like dice pool mechanics for a different kind of more sillier horror game that has been shelved. And then I saw the artist's art, David,
Yeah.
and I was just like,
The art is
we have to make a game.
the art is astounding. Like,
it was actually like the perfect scenario where I had this idea of like, I was at PAX East earlier this year. I was boothing with Plus One EXP and they have more darker stuff. So I'm like, what if I made a horror game and they publish it or something like that? And they're publishing this. And so I had this idea of like, oh, I'm in main black flies because nobody likes black flies. They're annoying. And then David walks up just randomly. And he's like, here's my art if you want something. And I'm like, I got a thing for you. Just on the spot. It's like, we're making this game now.
wow.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. When you see the art, which I'll put a QR code or a link with this, it is beautifully horrific in like the best ways. How long did the art take to get done? And did all of it exceed what you thought it would be?
Oh, way past my expectations. Yeah, he did a great job. I mean, I think it took maybe a month or two.
Were there other collaborators, or was it just the two of you?
I usually like sticking with one artist throughout the whole thing.
But what about other people helping with system or setting or anything like
I
that?
kind of did everything else.
Nice.
Yeah. I also had an editor friend as well.
This went up on BackerKit.
Yes.
Excuse me. None of your other products have been crowdfunded?
This is my first time on BackerKit. I had...
I'm sorry.
You're good. For Zine Month earlier this year in February, I had Warped FM, and I'm still working on that. That one turned out to be a lot bigger of a book. And I'm like, what if I just keep on writing more? Which I'm pretty sure the backers are not worried about. That's like a nice problem to have. It's
Right.
like, oh, you want to give us more book for a discount? Sure, give us more book.
Did you enjoy the crowdfunding process? Do you think that's a good way to build your games here out? Or you gonna
Personally,
build-
I wish I didn't have to do it, but that's just how the business works in this scenario. I don't have a crazy amount of funds to just like drop on a print run kind of thing.
So you chose BackerKit, but there's also Kickstarter or Games Found. Like, what
Yeah.
made you choose BackerKit?
So the one earlier in February was in Kickstarter, and so this time was just seeing what BackerKit got. My next one for February, so I'll have this one on BackerKit, and then I'll have 5 skinny zines. They're like little mini one-shot games on Kickstarter at the same time.
Oh, so you're actually still going back.
I'm going back and forth,
see
just seeing. It's
do you see a
different
real
people,
difference?
honestly. So like,
Oh.
yeah. So I'm not sure. I'm still kind of like a small goose in a big pond, you know. So, to me right now, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, if there are people that are excited about the game, they'll just go to wherever that they need to go.
Do you feel most of your games have good long-term replayability, or is it you play it once or twice and it's probably?
I think it depends on which game. For like Good Soup, it has a good amount of replayability. I also, in the rules, I state like, if you want something that's not listed on here, just do it, kind of thing. So that kind of allows to play it more. Food and Evil is definitely going to have a lot of replayability. Black Flies has a good amount of replayability, so this is the first time where I really kind of incorporate more campaign settings. Warped FM has what makes it big is it has 3 campaigns in it and a whole solo journaling aspect. So that one is definitely made for campaign play. But for my little smaller games, like Black Flies has a map that you can edit over time. Here, so I don't show off the cool art. You have a map that you scribble on and stuff. Awesome. And so if you played like The Quiet Year or something, it kind of has that vibe. And so my idea was like, yes, you might be a different group of cultists each time, but like you can see how like the town has changed in that kind of aspect. And then I also
You can show a little art if you want.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about it, but you
yeah,
may not
yeah.
want to show too much.
Yeah, I don't want to show too much.
You wanted to get to the BackerKit.
Yeah, they're really good. I mean, yeah, you could go to the BackerKit. There's a whole bunch. And then there's also something that I call boons. And so like boons, whoever has like won the game, they get to choose a boon for the next session. And boons like wildly change like what rules are happening.
Cool.
And they make it a lot of fun. There's some where it's like, one of my favorites is called Beefcake Lumberjacks, and everybody just gets stronger every time they use their strength and stuff. There's another one where I just kind of like turn it into a letter writing game, basically. So it's like, imagine you're all on different corners of the map and you're sending letters to each other, kind of thing. So they just like change the game, kind of break it, but just other ways to think about it, make it more like fun. Explore
So every game will
the
be different.
space. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's next for Goosepoop? Any secret projects in your mind that you're
Oh, I have so
ready to
many
talk about?
projects. So yeah, the zine month for Food and Evil, and then the 5 skinny zines, and then after that, there's a card pack that I'm working on called That's Bananas. I have a friend that's helping play test it this weekend.
Nice.
And then after that, I'm planning on doing like a full version of Good Soup, where there's going to be like an actual campaign, a lot of maps, and it's going to be fully illustrated by a friend of mine, that kind of thing. And it's going to feel more like a big recipe book. And I kind of want to go hardcover, still that form factor.
Has PAX East and Unplugged been good for sales?
It's been pretty good, yeah. PAX East was like, this year has been my first year of big conventions and stuff, so really exploring the space.
If you're at PAX and you want to come check it out, what booth are you in?
4156.
Would they be able to get a signed version of your games?
Oh yeah, you
Okay.
stop by and I'm there, I'll sign it.
Well, I want to say thank you for giving us a few minutes of your time. I know these are going to do great here. I think they're really interesting games. I'm very excited for Black Flies. I think all the other ones are fun too.
Yeah.
You know, it's so funny to see somebody go from whimsical to terrifying in the span of looking to your left. Like,
Yeah.
That's all it is. Like, wow. That came from the same person. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Jordan Dube of Goosepoop Games. You can tell by the cone on his head that he's a moral hazard, so be careful. Nice meeting you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
nice meeting you.
Take care.